Hello and welcome to Wednesdays with White Eagle and Janet. I am Janet Kadow, channeling the Ascended Master and Spirit Guide known as White Eagle. We start with a meditation to connect in to the frequency of spirit. So sit back, enjoy, and receive what comes. Breathing nice and gentle in and out of your nose. Just be present. Take a moment to just be present with yourself. Tune in to your body. Make sure you're comfortable. Release any tension or ask for spirit to release tension in your body if you need. Nice, gentle breathing. I'm going to ask spirit to release any and all energy that does not support you in this moment, that doesn't support your well-being right now. We're going to just ask them to take everything out of your auric field, your mental field, your emotional field. Any negative energy out of the body that's being held in the body. Just breathe, relax, and release. We're going to take another moment to ask Spirit to heal us, to bring us healing, supportive energy. Be quiet in receptivity. Bring the blessings of the spirit realm into your body, into your heart, into your mind, and into your soul. Allow Spirit to bless you with their light. Now we're going to ask the Ascended Masters, those who once walked upon the earth and ascended by mastering the physical world. We're going to invite them to create sacred space for us, to surround us in sacred space. Very good. Feel that energy enveloping you. We're all on the same frequency of energy, united in light and love from Spirit. That's so much better. Very good. Now we're going to ask your guide to keep you present throughout this channel. And to help you receive the truth and speak the truth throughout our whole session. We're going to give them thanks. And now I ask White Eagle to come in and speak through me, to bring us messages to support our highest good and help us on our path as we reach our potential in this world. We spoke last time about all that is available to us through the spirit world, all that can be created when we are working in co-creation with our divine aspect, which is our higher self, or our spirit guides, which is also aspect of divinity. Depending on what you are looking to create, know that it is always possible. We had also spoken that the ego can create barriers to our well-being by its own demands, by creating demands that are not in harmony with your soul's purpose or your well-being. But I want to speak a little bit about what your soul's purpose is. And many people become confused that it is uh, uh, typically a career of some sort. Like you came here to be a fireman or a teacher or so on. Be aware that your career is not your purpose. As you are on your spiritual path, you discover that your identity is something separate from your external identity, from the way others see you, your role in life. Your purpose is not your role in life. Your purpose is what you are able to experience. Your purpose is to experience the world in its fullest within the limitations that you have created before you were born. And when I say the limitations that you created before you were born, what I mean is before you were born, you made a list of things that you were going to experience. Some of you came here to experience love. Some of you came here to experience joy. Some of you came here to experience abundance. And when we live in spirit, we have all these things. And so when it is translated to the earthly realm, it is it translates as something quite different. If we come here to experience abundance and all the aspects of abundance, and we live in the world that is binary, a yes or no, or up or down, a world of opposites. So if we came to experience abundance, we may come in poverty. We may have been born into poverty or have a poverty consciousness. And so the task before us is to create abundance. So when we make a plan before we are born of what we could do that would reach our potential. So the plan before you are born is your potential. So again, if you your plan before you were born was to experience abundance, then you may experience poverty or even extreme poverty early in life, and then the path to your potential is how you overcome poverty consciousness, how you overcome all the limitations of poverty, how you learn to view abundance differently when you have none, and so on. And so our potential is our purpose. Our potential is not becoming exalted or ascended. Our potential is what we came here to experience. And when we have that potential and we dedicate ourselves to that potential, then we can grow in extraordinary ways. And we find the guidance of spirit will help us understand abundance. All our guidance will help us to either achieve abundance or look at abundance in a new light, and not one of just financial abundance or even material abundance, but abundance in other ways. And so we do not know what everybody's potential is, and most of us do not even know our own. We do not know why we chose to live a certain way, to be born a certain way, to have the limitations that we have, to have the relationships that are complicated and cruel, even difficult, painful. We have, or why we chose to live in a certain region or in a certain culture that judges us and creates harm, or even a religion. Why were we brought up and raised in a religion that was difficult to express ourselves? So these kinds of things, once they are healed and overcome, we are reaching our potential. So look at your early life challenges as part of the plan to reach your potential. All of them, all of the pain, the tragedy, the wounds, and the traumas. That is one way to truly understand your potential, is how you were brought into this world, what kind of experience you came into, whether it was one of a happy family or one of a disjointed family, etc., etc. If you think about those things as helping you to reach your potential, you can release a lot of resentment and fear and anger, even. But it is also not letting off the hook those people who harmed you. So it is, again, always a two-way street. So whoever is creating harm in your life will deal with that in some way. But it is not necessarily your job to retaliate or resent or wish harm on them. The universe is a giant mirror, and all of our actions, cruel or kind, are reflected back to us, as I have spoken on before. And so we need not look at how the world treats the person who is cruel to you. They're on their journey. Yet, you also need to know when it is appropriate to answer or to respond to someone who is cruel, and how to step back if it is not a necessary thing to respond. This is a complex topic, and I appreciate your kind attention. So I want to focus more on your soul's journey and not the journey of those who may have created difficulties in your life, or the traumas or the cruelties and so forth. So most spiritual people do not come to spirit because they are healed. Most spiritual people come to spirit because they are wounded and are in a quest to find relief from their suffering and to understand their potential, to know the truth of who they are. And when we can at least acknowledge that our experiences have helped us in the path to oneness and wholeness, to the path of truth, to the path of greater wisdom and understanding, and to the path of self-love and acceptance, then we can release what we may be holding on to from the past. We can release what is difficult for us to understand. And instead, we can always look to the result of what happened. So if you had a cruel parent who did not understand you, who ridiculed you even, and who made you fearful of your sensitivity or your insights, who made you feel like an outsider, or who called you a burden. Think about how that shifted you in a way that brought you closer to who you truly are. Because the path of spirit is not about enlightenment or ascension or any of that stuff. It is all about understanding the self, healing the self, and creating a greater understanding of your potential and your purpose. There is no ascension, but there is no enlightenment without a great deal of self-reflection and self-awareness. And so one of the greatest steps to self-acceptance is to let go of the wounds of the past. It is to let go of the heavy burden of trauma. And to do that self-respect, introspection can help us release the trauma by understanding what purpose it served. And we don't know our purpose until we know the purpose of all the things that harmed us. And so, as we are doing self-reflection, it is good, a very good thing, to ask ourselves, what important thing was gifted to me by my difficult childhood? What important thing happened because I felt like an outsider? What important thing happened because I felt like I didn't belong? How did that mold and shift me? And I will tell you that whatever that is, however it molded and shifted you, was on purpose so that you could be who you are and where you are, very close and on the path of your potential, the truth, what you truly came here to experience. Now then, I have mentioned, some of you have heard me say before, that our job in the world, our career, our thing that brings us joy to do, is our gift to the world, but not our purpose in the world. In other words, whether your career is your whole life, such as being a clergy or a royal, or your a career is just a job that has no fulfilling energy, it is not your purpose. It is just a job. It is a gift you offer the world. So, what you do for work is an offering, it is not a purpose. I want to be very clear here because we can so easily get distracted by our purpose being our job. A healer is a job, a psychic is a job, a counselor is a job. They are gifts we give back to humanity, but they are not who we are. So be aware if your identity is connected to your job, whether you are a great artist, a film star, the president, it is still a job. Your purpose is what you do with your own potential, what you have learned and how you have grown. That is your purpose, living up to your potential, the potential that was suggested before you came into the world. Once you came into the world and had many experiences, difficult or easy, that brought you to where you are now in seeking the truth, in understanding yourself and accepting yourself, and growing in a way that leaves maybe scars of the past, but the wounds are healed. That is your purpose, nothing more. I would say a little bit more about self-acceptance. Your purpose is to accept yourself fully and unapologetically to the world. Some of you is much more difficult. It is much more difficult to share who you are to the world when the world rejects who you are. Consciousness is changing to accept all persons. It may at times not look that way, and it is understandable to feel as an outsider. We do have much more to grow here. We do have a greater space to fill in acceptance of all persons, no matter what their um, uh, being expression is. Yet we are on the path to that. Humanity's consciousness is shifting in that direction. Hold the faith and look for those things that show you that new ways of being are being accepted all over the world, slowly but surely. When you can be fully who you are without hiding or without censoring, without trying to fit yourself into a mold of what you think you should be, then you are just starting the path of reaching your potential. And so that is your purpose. If you were made short or you were made of a different race or gender and so forth, if you can Find it within yourself to accept yourself as you are without concern for the judgment of others, then you have stepped on the path of your potential. You do not have to be spiritual. You do not have to be enlightened. You do not have to work towards ascension. It is merely a space of self-acceptance, all the good, all the bad of who you are, because you made this being who you are on purpose. You made where you were born on purpose. Your physicality is on purpose. Your family origin is on purpose. Everything about you was made for you to have the perfect experience, to reach your purpose and your potential. And the more you accept everything about you, from your bad temper to your kindness, from your sorrows to your triumphs, accept everything about yourself, and you will easily walk in the path of potential. You will easily find that others accept you as well. It is a big shift to accept something about yourself that you have disregarded or that you have fought against or that you have felt separates you from the rest of society. Whether and there are so many aspects of ourselves that can feel that way. If you are a psychic, you are set aside. You are not a legitimate member of society. If you are of a maligned race or a maligned sexuality, you are set aside. If you are, in some cases, not holding up a gender role or not holding up a religious role and so forth, there are so many ways that we are divided by who we are, simply for being, simply for breathing. And if the one person on earth who accepts you just as you are is you, then you are on your path to your potential. So every day, as you look at the things that disturb you or bother you about yourself, whether it is the way you appear or the way you feel and so on, give yourself a moment of acceptance. Accept all the things that you would like to change or all the things that other people would want to change about you. Because you are on purpose, and accepting who you are in your fullness in this moment in time is the most extraordinary stance of power. Think about the people who are unapologetically themselves. Think about the people who are in your face as who they are, and they do not care if they look strange, or they act strange, or they are over the top, or they are at times shy, or they have a strange personality, and so on. They just accept who they are. And when you're around someone who accepts who they are to the fullest, to their fullest, you are always comfortable with them because they are non-judgmental people. You are always comfortable being around someone who is comfortable with themselves. You can see how powerful they are simply by the fact that they accept themselves and everything about themselves, their limitations, their quirks, their blemishes, their faults, their bad taste, their weird humor, and so on. So take a moment to accept yourself just as you are. There is no need to change a single thing about you. And as you do that, your purpose becomes clear, because your purpose is to be who you are to your fullest without trying to change it to please another. Well, it has been a pleasure and an honor to be with you tonight. We all have such difficulties sometimes that distract us. We have a lot of to-do lists, and we have a lot of things we put before ourselves, a lot of things we do for other people, a lot of demands upon us that others need. And to put yourself first, to place your well-being first before anything else, is a great act of heroism, and I honor you for it. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Namaste.